Looks like the government is like kidnapping kids and feeding them to these reptilians. And the reptilians are giving them some kind of power, probably some type of alien devices. Like, who knows? I think the reptilians are more focused like on weaponry. Like they can invent like some atom bomb that'll just blow. They've actually have blown up the whole world before, making some type of atom bomb that was like more powerful than they thought. Uh, they're kind of like lower dimensional beings, so they're always focused like on hate, sex, and anger, sadness, terror. Um, I think they're not able to ascend past third dimension, and that's what's interesting. They're interdimensional beings, but they're not able to climb the climb the ladder, the spiritual ladder, if you will. Um, if I would compare them to colors of a chakra, from the body, from the legs to the head, purple being on the head and black being on the bottom, I think they work with the black aura, which is the most grounded one, like almost like the brown one, then the brown one, and then, and then like a red, which is I believe like anger, and then you have, and then the more higher it goes up to like in the pelvis area, it's more like I would say like an orange. That the orange aura has to do with sexuality. Then the yellow one has to do with the stomach. So they're not even able to go beyond the orange and red auras, I believe, to the yellow, which is the yellow is the stomach aura that helps you metabolize food. That's why they're not able to eat vegetables and fruits. I believe only some fruits they like. That's how they have to eat humans, because they're just low vibrating beings that also just so happen to have the ability of shape shifting or going into different dimensions. Uh, Also, another thing that has been worrying me is like when I watch the Huff Paranormal. You guys probably heard of that or watched his videos where he talks in a spirit box, and most of these spirits are like saying that, like they can't it's like it must be dark, or they can't see anything, or they'll say stuff like for example, like, when is God coming, and they'll be like, where's heaven, and asking questions like that, like basically like these people thought they were gonna go to heaven, or see God, and everything was gonna be good, and no, like they're just in some dark spot where they can't even see, and I've watched from other videos talking about how in this other life, or it was like on DMT, so it gives me kind of insight into the other side after death. There, this guy was talking about how he would, and also I've heard people say this in dreams also, which I think are it's all linked somehow. Where you, instead of walking, you kind of just imagine yourself there at that spot, and then you're just there. For example, like you want to go walk down the block, you just kind of think about it, and next thing you know, you're on the other side of the block. But what worries me is how all these spirits and ghosts are saying, and I'm sure they were more or less religious, or more or less good people, right? Because the majority of people are kind of good. So, but most of these spirits are talking about how it's like dark, and they're saying like they think they're in hell, and when they hear Steve on the spirit box, they ask him if he's some ask him if he's a devil, some ask him if he's God. Like it's like they can't tell. It's like they can't really tell the difference between these humans, and or they don't even notice what's going on the other side. I don't know. It's like they're very interested like in us, or like, well, like in Steve. Like a lot of, I would hear one spirit saying, "What is he doing?" And the other spirit says, he made this box talking to us." And then the spirit will say, "I want to help him." And then one spirit will say, "Oh, it's a waste of time." Then the other spirit says, "No, I want to help him." And then you have women coming in saying kind of crazy things too, or saying nice things. Like one of the videos, like Steve was talking about, talking to his dad, but his dad didn't come through because in the other session the spirits were telling him that he had passed through already. So I guess there is a little trial period, and then once you become so loving, I guess you go on to this other realm or the other side that these spirits called. And so he was talking to his dad, and his dad wasn't able to respond, but he was talking to, like, if you hear me, I just want to say that I love you. And he was saying that mostly it was him, not the father. That's why they didn't get along. And the woman spirit said, "So beautiful." Like, it was kind of nice, and it made me think that those are sort of beautiful things, aren't they? When you just speak from the heart. And another thing I think is like every time you focus on love and everything, like you create a light around you, because these spirits see the light around Steve when he's being positive. And so that's another thing. It's like, I think if we were really spiritual, all of us, and had a really strong aura, that these spirits will be able to see us on this other side. And sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. And they would be able to communicate with us, just like I heard a story of ancient traditions where the Hawaiians used to actually what was it, taking a video is gonna heat up my phone, whatever. um that the Hawaiians actually used to eat and talk with their dead loved ones as if they never left. So I don't know if they would. I believe they can see them transparently, or maybe it was just a spiritual thing. I'm not really 100% sure, but that's another interesting thing, and how this all ties in. And it's interesting how the government has a label for when you start connecting all the dots. They call it, that's the definition of schizophrenia, which I believe is like, it's a label they put on you so you don't have the desire to connect the dots. But I feel like there's a lot of dots that have been connecting for me lately. And I always have to talk about the latest thing that I've learned, the most deepest thing, the thing that would change the person who's listening to this video, or change them in a way where they can go and teach somebody. Um, Kind of like a good joke, everybody's joke is stolen from somebody else, but it's okay to steal it and say it. That way other people can find it funny, and they might tell the joke to somebody else. That's the same way with my conspiracies. I'd like to just teach and leave the cards fall where they may, and then just have people decide what they want to do with their knowledge. And I'm always learning, so as I've said in my other videos, it's probably no secret now that I want to really badly go to Japan. I'm 27, but I've heard of guys going there when they're 25, 18, and they basically never come back. They're already 50 something years old, and they're established, and I don't know. I guess either it's that good over there, or maybe time flies by really fast. I'm not sure. But okay, guys, just gonna leave you with that. I love coming up with an idea to talk about something that's gonna make a change. I feel like time is gonna it's like is time is about to be up soon. uh I think the Silurians want to wipe us out. We as humans don't stand a chance, because I mean, let's be honest, we fell for this whole illusion that the government gave us. We went to school, and everybody at school fell for the illusion, and they went to go get jobs and went to college and left their little they're just living their little slave lives, but I don't see the point in it. And I think either two things are gonna happen. Either I'm going to end up in jail for some crazy reason that, like, the government just gonna make up a reason that just gonna create some kind of fantasy or story about me committing a crime and just put me in jail, and I just either get lost in the system or rot in prison, or I'm gonna starve out here in the streets because I'm trying to stay away from meat, or I achieve rainbow body and become a light being, and then I'm able to travel into different dimensions, which is, that's really what I want to achieve. And then another thing could happen is spiritual beings can come and bless me, and in a way that I wouldn't have to worry about anything. Sort of like, I'll tell you a story where spirits have come and helped somebody in need, where they would otherwise perish. There's a story of this guy who's 70 something years old, and he hasn't eaten anything in the last 50 years. And his story was that when he was a child, I believe he hasn't eaten anything in 60 years. But when he was a young, he ran away from home around 10, I believe, and then he went into a cave, and um, a spirit goddess, either three of them or one of them, gave him the power. They said, "We're gonna give you the power. Um, we're just gonna give you a power." They said, "You won't have to eat or drink anything," and he just believed it, lived it, and it came true. So, without knowing how it works, he just had that thought of where he didn't have to drink or eat anything. And I think he has no desire to eat and drink anything. And there he goes living. I mean, I told my dad about this story, and he was telling me how it was impossible. And then I showed him the video, and then he started believing in it.